Imagine a world where the mere thought of trying something new sends shivers down your spine. A world where failure isn't just an outcome, but a terrifying, all-consuming monster lurking in the shadows. For some, this isn't a hypothetical nightmare. It's the crushing reality of atychiphobia, the irrational, paralyzing fear of failure. But what if this fear, seemingly a personal demon, was actually woven into the very fabric of society, quietly dictating our choices, limiting our potential, and trapping us in a self-made prison? What if the avoidance of failure became the biggest failure of all? To truly grasp the insidious nature of atychiphobia, we first need to understand that it's far more profound than just not wanting to fail. We all experience a healthy aversion to failure. It's a natural evolutionary mechanism that pushes us towards success and helps us learn from mistakes. We strive to do well on a presentation, or we rehearse for a big event, aiming to avoid a suboptimal outcome. That's normal. That's ambition. But atychiphobia transforms this healthy drive into a debilitating psychological condition that actively sabotages growth and potential. It's a primal, visceral terror that manifests as intense anxiety, panic attacks, or absolute paralysis when faced with any situation where success isn't guaranteed. It's the student who skips an important exam rather than risk a bad grade, the artist who never shares their work with the world, the entrepreneur who can't bring themselves to launch their dream project. It's the shadow that whispers, "Don't even try, because if you do, it will end in disaster." This isn't about disappointment, it's about existential dread. It's about the very concept of self-worth being inextricably tied to perpetual, flawless success. And what truly makes this condition so unsettling is how subtly it can take root, often nurtured by invisible forces. What are these forces, and how do they feed such a destructive fear? The origins of atychiphobia are often complex and multifaceted, a tapestry woven from personal experiences and societal pressures. For many, the seeds of this fear are sown in childhood. Picture the child with overly critical parents, where every mistake, no matter how small, is met with harsh judgment, disappointment, or even punishment. This creates a psychological blueprint where failure equals pain, shame, and rejection. The child quickly learns that the safest path is often inaction, to avoid any scenario where they might not measure up. Then there's the perfectionist parent, whose own anxieties about success are projected onto their child, setting impossibly high standards. The message is subtly ingrained: you are loved and valued only when you excel. This can lead to a crushing burden of expectation, where anything less than perfection is seen as a catastrophic personal defect. Beyond the immediate family, societal expectations play a deeply insidious role. From a young age, we are immersed in a culture that often celebrates success above all else, promoting a narrative of flawless achievement. Social media, for instance, presents a curated highlight reel of everyone's triumphs, rarely showing the struggles, the setbacks, or the failures that paved the way. This creates a distorted reality where it seems everyone else is effortlessly succeeding, leaving those vulnerable to atychiphobia feeling like abject failures by comparison. Educational systems, too, with their emphasis on grades and quantifiable performance, inadvertently contribute to this fear. The pressure to get into the right university or secure the perfect job can turn intellectual exploration into a high-stakes gamble, where a low mark isn't just an indicator of needing to study more, but a sign of inherent inadequacy. Past traumatic experiences of failure can also cement this phobia. Imagine a public humiliation in childhood, a devastating career setback, or a business venture that collapsed spectacularly. Such events can deeply scar the psyche, forging a powerful association between effort and catastrophic outcome. The memory of that pain becomes a powerful deterrent, a constant warning siren screaming, "Never again." What happens when these subtle forces combine, quietly twisting an individual's perception of their own capabilities and the world around them? The consequences can be devastating, extending far beyond simply avoiding a challenge. The real terror of atychiphobia lies in its ability to paralyze, to completely shut down an individual's potential. Imagine a brilliant young professional, full of innovative ideas, but completely incapable of pitching them to their superiors because the fear of rejection, of a no, is too overwhelming. They hold back, their talent goes unnoticed, and their career stagnates. They watch as less inhibited, though perhaps less talented, colleagues climb the ladder simply because they dared to try. This isn't just about career advancement, it's about a fundamental inability to engage with life's opportunities. Relationships suffer too. The fear of asking someone out, the terror of initiating a difficult conversation, or the avoidance of commitment for fear of the relationship failing can leave individuals isolated and profoundly lonely. They might never pursue their true passions, never start that dream business, never write that book, all because the imagined shame of failure outweighs the potential joy of success. This isn't just self-sabotage, it's a slow, agonizing suffocation of the self. The individual becomes a spectator in their own life, watching opportunities pass them by, trapped in a self-imposed cage of what-ifs. The mental toll is immense: chronic anxiety, depression, a pervasive sense of unworthiness, and even profound regret. Some may resort to elaborate avoidance strategies, always making excuses, always finding reasons not to try. They might become hypercritical of others, projecting their own fears and insecurities, finding flaws in everyone else's endeavors to justify their own inaction. Others might simply withdraw, embracing a life of minimal risk and, consequently, minimal reward. The long-term psychological effects are a grim landscape of unfulfilled potential, lost dreams, and a deeply ingrained sense of inadequacy. The person might know intellectually that failure is a part of growth, but emotionally they remain prisoners of their phobia. This isn't a fleeting discomfort, it's a foundational belief system that permeates every decision, every aspiration, every quiet thought. It's a silent killer of ambition, creativity, and joy. But is there a way out of this self-made prison? To escape the dark grip of Atychiphobia, we must first confront the cultural narratives that perpetuate it. Society often presents failure as an endpoint, a definitive judgment of worth. But what if we reframed it not as a personal flaw, but as invaluable, often painful data? What if every failed attempt was simply an iteration, a step closer to understanding what works, a testament to resilience and effort? Think of the countless inventors, scientists, and artists whose breakthroughs were preceded by a multitude of failures. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed 10,000 times. I have not failed once. I have succeeded in proving that those 10,000 ways will not work." This mindset, an embrace of experimentation, of learning from setbacks, is the ultimate antidote to atychiphobia. It requires a fundamental shift, both individually and collectively, away from a culture of flawless performance and towards a celebration of effort, grit, and continuous learning. It means parents encouraging their children to try and fall, to get dirt on their knees, and to understand that mistakes are stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. It means workplaces fostering environments where calculated risks are encouraged and lessons learned from failures are openly discussed and valued. It means personal introspection to unearth the deeply ingrained beliefs that equate self-worth with perpetual success. It's a journey of self-compassion, of recognizing that our intrinsic value isn't dependent on external outcomes. True liberation from atychiphobia isn't about miraculously succeeding at everything. It's about finding the courage to try, knowing that failure is not the end of the road, but merely a bend. It's about understanding that the biggest failure of all is allowing the fear of failure to prevent us from ever truly living. The path forward demands an embrace of imperfection, a welcoming of the unknown, and a powerful recognition that growth stems not from avoiding the fall, but from finding the strength to get back up every single time. And perhaps, in that profound shift, we might find not just personal freedom, but a more resilient, innovative, and compassionate society as a whole. If you want to dive deeper into the hidden anxieties that shape our lives, the next video explores the unsettling phenomenon of imposter syndrome and its silent cost.